Hello, my name is JP Hofseth, and I'm going to be going over my Sprint 1 review. So we're going to open this from the builds file for Team Loose Cannons and Cyber City Execute. We're going to go over to level select and take the toy box level because it's easier to see more of the things I worked on here. Actually, that's one of the things I worked on right there. The melee enemy that immediately comes up and starts attacking you. Now, they don't always immediately see you. It all depends on where the enemy was patrolling from. I have the enemy randomly choosing a location within 500 Unreal units from their position. That way they just kind of meander around the board. Once they do see the player, if you notice the sphere that pops up, that lets them know how close they are to, or if they're within range to attack the player or not. And if not, they keep moving towards the player until they get close enough to attack. I also worked on the ranged enemies, which are over this way. Notice right now the ranged enemies don't actually do anything. I was setting up a patrol for them, but ran out of time to get it working properly, so I just removed it. But once you attack it, immediately turns and attacks you. So we can even attack here. I added in sound effects for the projectile. I also made the projectiles. And then the respawn is something that I worked on as well. So when one of the enemies die, it respawns that enemy type and moves it to its spot where it died. I can show that with the melee guy here too. Once they die, he'll go back to the spot where he died at. So like I said, I also worked on the projectiles. I helped a bit on the sprint mechanic as well. If you notice, sprint changes colors. That I didn't work on, but what I did work on is once you get down to 0 stamina, the player gets winded and can't sprint again until their stamina reaches full. So once it reaches full, the player is able to sprint again. And that's another piece I worked on. I also worked on the health system. So as you notice, the player can lose health and die. Health system is something I built as a component for the player and for the enemies. I actually have the same health component for all the avatars. They just use the same component. So that way we didn't have to implement code multiple times. We just dropped the component to anybody who wanted help and needed the health. Trying to think what else I worked on. I helped with the death HUD. There was an issue where when you died pop up, it wasn't going away. I helped troubleshoot that disappearing so that when the player does die, it disappears. And I'm thinking that's about it. The enemy AI, the health system, troubleshooting the stamina, and the death widget is mostly what I worked on for this sprint. This is just a brief review of what I worked on, so I want to thank you for watching this and hope that gives you an understanding of um, what I did during the sprint. Just as a note, the enemy AI I did all off of behavior trees and tasks, as well as decorators to indicate when the behavior tree should switch between those different tasks. Again, thank you for watching this and look forward to the next sprint.